truth is, I am Iron Man.
Lieutenant Dan! Inconceivable!
Got a bad feeling about this.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Flicks and Clicks. This is Keelan. And look how many people are in this one right as it is happening right now.
Woohoo!
Hey guys, it's been so
at
long
us.
since all of us have been together in the same room. And it's hasn't changed because we're still very far away.
We're in different rooms
Well,
still.
if you think about it, if this was all the same room and we were just at 5 different areas of it, it would be very weird
That's
how
Yes.
different the lighting is across the room.
Yeah.
I love the
mean-
guitars in the room. It's my favorite part of our room. I'm sorry.
My favorite part about it is my bed.
Wow. Excuse me. So we're all back to do a episode of this. Today is going to be a really fun one. We're going to be talking about games that we think deserve a comeback. That's a little vague, I guess. It could mean a bunch of different things. It could mean this or that. So, yeah,
It could mean yeah, a
doesn't-
number of different things.
doesn't necessarily have to
now
be a
and then.
game that has been dead for a long time. It could be games that used to be really popular and aren't anymore, but maybe they still release. But we think they deserve a revitalization of sorts. So yeah, before we do that, how are you guys? Tell us, how are you guys?
Pretty good. You want me to go first? I'll go
No.
first.
Okay.
Too bad. I'm going first. I'm doing good. I am finally teaching back in person, so that's fun.
Huzzah.
I am also doing really good because I finally get to join back in on this after spending a month and a half trying to move into this house.
It looks great.
Beautiful.
All I've done is
I
hang-
love our new house.
All I've done so far is hang Micah's guitars on my wall.
There's also cubes on the ground, so that's a plus too.
Ice cubes, actually.
Big ones.
Cool.
I'm doing okay. Today was weird. But anyways, I'm here now.
All is good.
No worries. I went to Costco, so that's what I did today.
I like Costco.
I bought muffins.
That's a
Costco
good
muffins
day.
are good.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous.
You could go to Costco right now if you wanted.
But then I'd have to leave this one room with you guys.
We could
That's
all go
true.
together.
He would be behind us in frame. It would be really awkward just watching him
Yeah.
walk by.
Yeah, it would
'Cause-
be really weird because we're all in the same room.
Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast right now, it'll be hard to visualize. But Daniel is in like the northeastern side of the room right now, and the door to leave is on the southeastern side of the room, and so you know that's as far. He has a long ways. We're all in between him and the doors.
Yeah,
what
I'm on the
saying.
north-southern side. So some might say I'm right in the middle.
Which way is west?
Oh man,
Wow.
Jordan, how are you?
I'm good. Today was a Monday, so that's all right. But now I'm here with you guys, so that's cool. I'm glad about that.
Today was a Monday and still is a Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
Chelsea was telling me that it's weird because it's a full moon, but I don't know if I buy that. I don't know. Are you guys into suspicious things like full moons making days weird?
Are you suspicious
No.
that it's a full moon or not, or suspicious that it's weird because of the full moon?
Both, yeah. I don't think
Doesn't
it's a
quite
full
look
moon.
full.
My
I
calendar
think it's
says
still
full
missing
moon.
some.
I don't know. about
98%.
I'm suspicious about that.
Oh man.
So anyway, what do you guys think of moon cycles?
The game Moon Cycles? Never heard of
Yes.
that one. Tell us about it.
Well, no.
Wow.
Let's talk about the games. I want to talk about the games.
The lumberjack games.
I had a student tell me today that they're going to be going to Corbin, which is
Really?
where all of us except for Jordan went to college.
There you go.
Jordan was there in spirit. He didn't know it,
Yeah.
but we brought him along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a little ghost.
You don't have to be a little ghost, though.
He's not little, though. Jordan's pretty tall.
That's
pretty
true.
tall.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I am 6'4".
6'4".
It's the little ghosts that they make movies about. So
Daniel, aren't
maybe
you
you
also
do want to be a little
6'4"?
ghost.
I am. That's why I Air 5 Jordan, but he left me hanging, so it's whatever.
I was like really confused for a second. All right.
It's okay, maybe somebody
so
that's
Keelan,
watching
how tall
will
are you?
Air 5 me back.
Depends how many socks I'm wearing.
Well, in that case, how many socks are you wearing?
3.
Bad day.
Yeah.
Is that in total or on one foot?
In total. Yeah.
Wait, if it's on one foot, it would still be in total, right?
We have socks on the second foot, right?
I'm wearing 4 socks on one foot, not in total. In total, I'm wearing.
If
I
it's on
see
one
what you
foot,
mean.
You could be wearing 4 socks on the other foot too.
Did
Yeah,
you
or
guys
none.
get the newest PlayStation 5 update installed on your PlayStation?
Is it the one that helped make party chat a little bit better?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the one.
Don't think I did that yet.
It's a good time because now you can adjust the volume of the other people in your party, so you don't have to be like, hey, can you turn down your mic? You can just go adjust it yourself. And it's actually fast, too. It's like the first card that pops up. It's super nice.
I did not know that was a feature of it.
It's a good time.
It's
That's
awesome.
really
yeah.
cool.
I need
So-
to look at the cards a little bit better because I didn't know you could get to it that fast. I still have to click through like 3 menus to find it.
It's the first card. Your active voice chat will be the first card that pops up.
Ah.
Yeah.
I need to go through cards, not through
And
party.
then they also allowed 120 frames per second if your TV or your monitor allows it. And so I was able to play some Crucible on 120 frames a second on Destiny, and that was a lot of fun. Very buttery smooth. It's a good time.
Wow. It's awesome.
I'm still trying to get used to the leaving parties on the PlayStation 5 because I think on the PS4 when you would leave, you would click leave and it says like, "Are you sure you want to leave?" And then you would click it and leave. And so I got into the habit of like saying my goodbyes after I hit leave, and now I always leave the party before I like want to. And then
I always thought that was like your comedic timing.
that's
Because usually you're in the middle of a sentence when you leave. And we're like,
All right,
"Oh,
guys.
fuck you."
I'll see you next.
Yeah, exactly.
it's by accident.
Wow.
But,
I like shooting the breeze with you guys. I hope our listeners and viewers like it too. If you've
We'll
made it this
see.
far, congratulations.
You've
Yeah.
done it.
Now we're
Okay.
at the second part of shooting the breeze.
Help us,
Okay.
Keelan. Help us.
Okay. So now we're gonna move on to the topic of the show, which is what I said earlier. I guess I don't need to repeat myself. Yeah. So we're just gonna go around. We're gonna talk about games that we think. I just said I wasn't going to. Oh my
It's okay.
gosh.
We've forgotten by now because we've been talking about moon
This is the
cycles and things.
Mondayest Monday
Oh my goodness.
of all Mondays.
By
But
the
if
way,
you're listening to this, it's probably not Monday. It could be.
those of you that are just listening, I'm wearing red headphones and the Flix and Clicks t-shirt, and I think it represents pretty well. Just saying. Thanks for watching.
Impressive. It's impressive.
All right. So let's just get going with it. I say. How about Tyler? Do you want to start us off with maybe one of your games that you think deserve a comeback?
Yes, I will start us off. Okay, the first game that I think deserves a comeback on my list, I have actually a longer list than I anticipated having, is Splinter Cell. I think Splinter Cell deserves a comeback. Not just the series being rebooted. I think there could be some new really cool games, but I also think that the old games deserve a remake as well. if they remade some of those old Splinter Cell games, Ghost Recon, the OG Splinter Cell, not Ghost Recon, I'm sorry. What is it called?
Chaos Theory?
No. Oh, Chaos
Pandora
Theory, maybe.
Tomorrow.
Pandora tomorrow.
Double Agent.
Ghost Recon. I love how Keelan looked at me like I was the worst person on the planet when I said Ghost Recon. Splinter Cell Ghost Recon. He's like, do you even play that game?
Do you even game, bro?
It's been a long time, which is why those games should be remade. Seriously, they should come back. They need to be on the PlayStation 5, and I'd love to see those games. I played them with you, Keelan. Those are some of the games that we played together. What's the one where it's Double Agent? It was right? Am I wrong again? What is it?
It's Chaos Theory. If you're thinking of the co-op one.
It's Chaos Theory.
Well, Double Agent has co-op too, but I don't think we ever had Double Agent.
So there is a Double Agent, and you tried to make me look like a fool again?
No, there is a Double Agent, but I don't think we played it together. I jumped the gun. Keep going.
Oh my gosh. It's all about making me look like a fool. I don't know any games. I'm just playing. Everyone's looking at me like I'm a fool. Micah's looking at me like I'm a fool. I feel like I should quit this podcast right now. My word. Okay. Splinter Cell would...
No.
Splinter Cell would be a great game. You know what? Forget it. Move on from me.
No.
I'm going to go on to my next game.
No, okay. Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow. I played that game with my brother Derek in our parents' basement, and that is a fun game. That one does deserve a comeback. There's a lot. I don't think I played any of the other ones, but that one in particular, like, you really do feel like a secret agent doing like very sneaky things. It's really cool. There's not another game quite like it that's that focused on certain things that you can do. It's very realistic because it's like if someone looks back at you and there's any light shining on you, like they see you. Like it's not like stealth like now in video games where it's like you can, like I'm playing Days Gone right now, and if there's guys with lights shining and you're in a bush right in front of them, they won't see you. That's silly.
That's totally realistic.
Yeah, well, I mean, and so
I do
yeah,
it all the
so
time.
Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow was a blast because, and I agree, it does deserve a comeback because it's very realistic. And
Is
whatnot.
Keelan okay? Keelan.
It's it's not even that funny.
No, I actually thought you were having a seizure. Like I was legitimately worried about you because you were down, like you were kind of off to the side, and I was like, oh, maybe he's laughing, and then you were like down on the
convulsing
ground.
a little. Dang.
It's been a really long time since I've like laughed like that, and so once it started going, I couldn't stop.
You can laugh in front of us. You don't have to act like you're dying. Holy smokes. I agree with you, Micah, for the record. I agree with you. I think those games do a really good job of emphasizing the stealth aspect. They don't want you to blaze through things at all. So even the weapons that they do give you generally lend themselves to you continuing to be stealthy, like the air coil. I just cannot stop remembering the air coil. For some reason that comes straight to mind because that's like, oh yeah, you just knock a guy out. If you knock the right guy out, you can get around everybody else. So that's one of the things I really liked about that game. You don't get games like that very often. You get games that incorporate stealth as an option, but not games that rely on you being stealthy. If you can't be stealthy in certain areas, you won't pass that section of the game. That's one of the reasons why I think it should come back too. And I've always liked playing like stealthy games. Like we used to play them all the time at your house, Micah, when we were growing up.
True.
Just trying to be stealthy, getting around German Spotlight, and just it was. I love those types of games in person, but also those types of games for a video game.
And it's
like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's weird with Splinter Cell 2 because the last game that came out was Splinter Cell Blacklist for the PS3 and 360, which is a really good game, but it's definitely more action oriented. You can still do the whole thing by sneaking through and knocking people out instead of killing them and doing it. You have all the same gadgets and stuff. But they got a new actor for Sam Fisher. And the original actor, Michael Ironside, has like a very distinct voice, and it's so good. And they got a new actor for Blacklist because they were saying, oh, well, it's easier if we have an actor, because they were doing motion capture, and so they said it was easier if we had an actor who could act the scenes and also do the voice at the same time, because Michael Ironside is a very old man. And then Ghost Recon Wildlands comes out.
It's actually called Splinter Cell. It's Splinter Cell.
And they release a DLC, not a DLC, it's like a little side mission, like 2 years after the game releases. And who shows up? Sam Fisher. But it's not Sam Fisher from the most recent game. It's Sam Fisher with Michael Ironside. They brought him back to voice Sam Fisher in this little DLC. This was like 4 years ago at this point. So everyone was like, oh, they're getting ready to like announce the new Splinter Cell, or they're bringing him back. It's going to be a like they're doing it, and then it never happened. And they brought Sam Fisher to like a mobile game and to another thing, and like it just seems so weird that they would bring back Michael Ironside to say like 5 words and then not do anything else with that character or anything. But hopefully soon. I think this year we'll get an announcement or a tease or something that there's going to be a new Splinter Cell. But I agree.
We'll see.
Love it.
Who's next?
I think that's me. Both of my games are actually from Nintendo 64, which surprised me. My first game is Diddy Kong Racing, which I think, I feel like maybe is, in the grand scheme of many gamers, might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that it was a much better kart racing game than Mario Kart. If you aren't familiar with it, it's more or less the same premise, but they tried to incorporate kind of a story, which is a really dorky story where some like planetary evil person tries to come and take over this island from these kid animals, and then they race to defeat him. It's ridiculous. But you race with not only carts, but you also race with hovercrafts and airplanes, and the airplanes aren't like in the newer Mario Karts, they have like moments where you glide and you can kind of like control while you're gliding, but you're still falling. You're not flying. And I just remember in Diddy Kong, you get to actually like fly the planes, and you can do loops and you can shoot at each other. And it was just a lot more fun.
The plane flying is really cool in that game.
Yeah. And it works. Like, it's not complicated, but you still have to be good to not suck. So
that's a good quote. You have to be good to not suck.
That's nice.
I coined it. Yeah.
Get going.
Love it.
So, compared to like Mario Kart and stuff, what like really, aside from the gliding planes, like what did it control? Like, was it snappier or?
Honestly, so the game came out a year after Mario Kart 64. Mm-hmm. So they honestly play very similar, aside from the different, I mean, obviously there's different tracks and whatnot, but the different carts, like the hovercraft, they slidey, and you have to turn like the opposite way that you want to go. So you have to angle your fan behind the hover cart away from like where you're trying to go. It was kind of complicated, but like there's different, it's a big difference in like how you play. So it was always a lot more fun to figure out how to play with these different kart styles and racing styles and stuff like that. And then obviously there's, you don't get Koopa shells and banana peels to throw at each other. It's, missiles, or I don't know. Mm-hmm. I can't even remember some of those other power-ups. So it's different. It's different in every way. And one of the cool things too is the game actually introduced some other characters that came in with their own games, like Banjo and Kazooie. Banjo the Bear was one of the playable characters. Nice. And then I think the main one, maybe Timber the Tiger. I feel like there was another character that split off and had their own like adventure style game that came from that era, where it's running around with your friend trying to save the world. That kind of thing.
They don't have bananas in that game.
They don't have bananas. They have other things like oil slicks or whatever, but
they
there's
don't
no
have bananas.
I know.
And it's Diddy Kong Racing.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I should fix it. They do, but it's like a currency. Like you collect.
Yeah.
Instead of like collecting like coins, you collect bananas.
So it's not a negative thing; it's a positive thing.
Yeah, you don't use them as like a weapon.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
it's even better.
Mm-hmm. And then they had like boost like arrows and stuff on the ground, or I don't know. There's this little subtle differences in the game that I think just made it so much better than Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart got boring after a while because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. But you could change every one of the tracks. You could race it either in a cart, in a hovercraft, or in a plane. You could switch it, forward or backward, and all the different things. And what was cool too is you had to drive to the entrance to the track in like a free world kind of thing. So it's not like in Mario Kart where you just scroll through and you select the track that you want to race. You actually have to go drive to it, which was also really fun.
Kind of like Crash Team Racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, similar. Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing was super fun. Yep, good game. If I feel like if someone shares a game that we all disagree, be like, no, dude, you're terrible. so far, everything's good. Yeah, I agree.
Also, is anybody else's screen showing that Micah is Keelan Cienfuegos?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Everyone's is.
That's
So
because
two Keelans.
we share the
room
Zoom account.
You're in the same
Flix and
room.
Clix Zoom account. Plus, we're in the same room, so we're using the same Zoom account in the same room. We're just in different dimensions. So Keelan's in the upside down because it's darker.
Some might say we are a rift apart.
Oh my gosh. Splinter Cell ripped apart.
I love Splinter Cell rift apart. Yep.
All right, Micah, what's your first one?
I thought I was going fourth.
That was for the names, but then we didn't end up doing the names.
Oh,
and then
well, there you go. My first game that I believe deserves a comeback is Rock Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have something that I think it should be added. That should be added to it. I think
Triangle.
we should have VR Rock Band.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Holy smokes.
right now, how it is VR is just one person puts it on and does the thing, and everyone else just watches, right? What if you could have 4 people put it on at the same time?
That's a big headset.
One headset.
Just right next to each other, just 4. Oh, okay. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what if Rock Band did a comeback? So you may say, no, Rock Band's still around. Is it really, though? You have to, like, search for things, search for stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a Rock Band 4, but it's hard to find. You can't really buy it. It wasn't marketed at all. I just remembered all the old Rock Band 1 and Rock Band 2 days. Those were good times, man. Playing Rock Band with all y'all. And I think it deserves a comeback. And I think VR should be part of it. I know that we have Beat Saber on VR, which is similar-ish. And I know it doesn't really make sense for VR, but it would have to be way different if it was in VR. But I think that would be really cool. Be like a live concert that you play.
You could get you could mix it with some Dance Dance Revolution.
I was just gonna say
feels.
like
We have to actually
true.
play the show.
yeah, you get points or whatever for like actively like moving or like engaging with the crowd too.
And I'm talking like you could have famous shows too, like very famous shows, like Steve Perry's last show with Journey. You could pick which person to be in that band, and you're playing it in VR, what it would be like from their perspective. Yeah, how cool would that be?
That would be amazing.
You know what I'm saying? It's sort of a new idea, but it's also like a comeback because you could just use the Rock Band thing there could just be like at the bottom of your screen that thing scrolling towards you so that you can make sure to play all the right notes. But as you look around, you know, you look down and play a note, and then you can look around and like see everybody. How cool would that be?
It'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Who developed Rock Band? We need to give them a call. We need to let them know.
The only thing that would be tough
Ghost
with
Recon, actually.
Oh,
did.
Rock Band Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon makes some good games.
Yeah, they do.
I think the only instrument that would be tough with is the drums. You'd be like smacking people while you're trying to do VR.
Sounds good to me, man.
Just punch the table.
I mean, not necessarily. If you, because like when you play Beat Saber, you can track the remotes or the sabers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a way to sync your actual drum kit itself up to it too, you'd be able to see it just normally.
That was another
And
thing
it would
I
look
thought
like a
of,
real
too.
drum set.
Maybe you're like actually a good musician and are learning these solos or these guitar parts for certain songs. You know, if you're not, you can just plug in like the Rock Band one that just has 5 buttons. But if you're like, oh, I can actually play the bass line for this, or I can actually play the drums line for this, you could like put these little sensors on the drums or on your guitar so that it would show whether you're playing the right notes or not. It's a lot of technology. I get it, but that's my first game. Right
You know
there.
what? You know what would be the best part about one of my favorite parts about that is watching a group of people play it
Without the audio.
with no audio, and they're all just in their basement
Rocking
like,
out.
can't hear
Especially
anything.
because the singer would actually be making music and everyone else would just be like the person would be like, wow.
Yeah. So there you go. That's my first one.
It's a
That-
solid first game.
Yeah, that's super cool. All right, Jordan.
My first game, I'm going to go with Need for Speed Carbon. Yeah.
Isn't that a remake of Most Wanted already? Sorry. Just kidding.
It's not.
Shots fired.
I do think this game is significantly like worse than Most Wanted, which is why I think they should remake it, because
okay.
the whole game takes place at night, and on the PS2 it's like impossible to see at night, so they put this like helicopter spotlight over your vehicle, and it just looks dumb. Like it looks really bad, but that's what they had to do. And now with how graphics are, you don't have to do that anymore. You can make the game actually look really good. And I thought the story was a lot of fun in that game. It's one of the more memorable stories that I've played in a game from my childhood. I have like a horrible memory. But I really enjoyed the story in that game. And I think they could make it.
Sorry. I thought you meant like you have horrible memories of that. I'm like, dude, that's terrible. But then I realized you have a horrible memory, meaning like you just
I
don't
have a
remember.
horrible
I'm like,
memory.
oh, okay.
I don't
okay, that's
remember
not
a lot
as
of stuff.
tragic.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, Jordan.
I felt horrible the whole time, so I want them to
man.
bring it back. No.
Yeah. Wow.
Make new memories.
Yeah. Overwrite those. But yeah, no, my memory is really bad, but that's one thing that I do still remember. I just think it'd be a lot of fun to play again.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I support that. Like, I think one of the things about Carbon that was really, really fun too, that just didn't quite live up to how cool it could have been, was like, I can't remember what it was called, but you could like make your own car parts. Like they'd give you this basic bumper or whatever, and then you'd give you all these sliders, and it would like increase the vent sizes or move them or whatever. And
That's
same with
cool.
like wheels and stuff. And it was super fun, but like the quality of those parts was always like way lame compared to the aftermarket ones that you could get that were like pre-made and you couldn't customize them. And it would have been so cool to be able to make actually like cool wheels that don't look dumb.
And then you can see because
And then you can
there's
see
real lighting.
because there's good graphics.
Yeah. And like that was the first Need for Speed game where it was like fully customizable. So yeah, you could change the vent sizes and actually move decals around. They weren't like stuck in one place. So that was a lot of fun. I missed that game.
Need for Speed, Ghost Recon Rift Apart. What a great game.
Yeah. Yeah, Carbon. I don't know if we ever owned Carbon, but
We did.
We did?
Yeah, Tyler used to play it all the time.
Gotcha. Never mind.
That's a direct continuation of Most Wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like right
Oh,
after
it is?
you jump the bridge, right?
Yeah.
I was just about to talk about that. I completely forgot about that when we talked about Most Wanted in the past. The story's super cool with Most Wanted because you go up to Blacklist and everything, then you get your car back. But then the best thing about that game, I'm just now remembering this, is the finale is beyond epic.
It's so good.
You run away in the highest level police chase and jump a bridge. And then
Like a drawbridge so that they
like a
can't follow
drawbridge.
you.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Only to
And
be
then
caught
carbon
back
starts.
up in carbon.
Instantly, yeah.
It literally takes place like right after that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're still driving. Like in the
Yeah.
It's crazy too because it was like broad daylight and Most Wanted, and then all of a sudden it's like night.
Night forever.
It's a really
Night
big
forever.
This is forever night.
one more ride, then it's night forever.
There's this like troll underneath that bridge. So no one ever uses the bridge. There's a troll underneath the bridge that says, "Don't jump the bridge or it'll be nighttime forever." And you did it.
There's this episode of Impractical Jokers where they're at like Disneyland or something, and they make one of the guys go on one of those slow rides, like the river rides, and they tell him to say a bunch of funky stuff. And he's been saying a lot of things throughout the whole ride, and everyone starts to ignore him. And then they have him say, "Well, that's it. One more ride for me, then it's night forever." He just says that out loud, and he's like sitting there at the front, and no one says a thing. It's just the most awkward. So I quote that all the time.
Impractical Jokers, man. That's some funny stuff. It's very cringy, but funny.
All right, Tyler, do you want to take the big JD or?
No, you take it.
Okay. So the game that
The big
I
JD.
think that I think deserves a comeback is Jack and Daxter. I don't even remember where I placed it on my top 5 games when we had our episode, but it was up there. It was probably in my top 3, I think, top 2. I love that game so much. The first 3, actually the first 4 are super good. They kept iterating on each other, and so the first one is just a very standard 3D platformer, very colorful Pixar-like. You punch bugs and step on spiders, and it's fun. And then the second one hits, and then it's like GTA almost, and you have guns, and you're stealing hover cars and stuff. And then Jack 3 is like Mad Max and just super cool desert warfare stuff. And then Jack X or Jack 4 is a racer game, which is super underrated in my opinion. It's very, very well made, and it actually has a really good story and music and all that stuff. But that was on the PS. All 4 of those games were on the PS2, and that was the last time that Naughty Dog made a Jack and Daxter game. Someone made one for the PSP called Jack and Daxter: The Lost Frontier. And I guess there's a Daxter spinoff, but those were made by different people. The Lost Frontier is a continuation of the story, but I don't think it's considered canon or anything. I heard it was really bad.
Different, and it looks terrible.
Yeah. That one, it had a cool concept. It was like sky pirates and stuff and floating islands, which is really cool. I've taken a lot of inspiration from that type of world for a lot of my story ideas for like short stories and stuff in college. Anyway, I think this game needs to make a comeback because the characters are so good. It's like one of the most iconic PlayStation mascots outside of like Crash, but Crash isn't PlayStation exclusive anymore. Ratchet and Clank is another one up there, but Ratchet and Clank is alive and well. I think it's crazy that Jack and Daxter hasn't had a game since the PS2, especially since The Last of Us was originally Jack 4, like an official continuation, or Jack 5. I don't know what they would have called it, but
like that was their secret project that they were working on, and then it was something completely different than a Jack and Daxter game.
Yeah, you can look up
Interesting.
concept art and stuff. They've released little documentaries on it and stuff, and you can tell that it wouldn't have been like true to what Jack and Daxter is. It was very dark and gritty and realistic, which I wouldn't want. They are mature-ish games, especially the latter 2, but they're still colorful and fun and really funny and stuff. And I think we need more games like that because so many games are just all about, we gotta see how bloody and messy we can make it. We want our players to cry. And it's like, it's great if you can tell a good story that makes you emotional and stuff, but like, sometimes I just want to have fun, which is why I'm so excited for Ratchet and Clank and stuff, because I like those games, and those were the games that I played so much when I was little. But
we had a friend, in fact, it was our neighbor for a while, who he lived in the basement of his house, and he had a scoreboard thing, and all of his friends, like, he was trying to see if his friends had completed all 3 Jack games, and if you did, you got on the Wall of Fame. Do you remember that, Keelan?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, so if you got on the Wall of Fame if you finished all 3 Jack games. And I remember at the time when we saw that, I hadn't beat them all. I had just beat the first one. For a long time, we only had the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I played that game a lot. I can remember so often playing that game until dinner time, eating spaghetti and going to bed. And it was always spaghetti. I don't know
Always
why.
spaghetti.
Got to make sure to play Jack and Daxter, so we'll have spaghetti for dinner.
Yeah, that's how it works, man.
Could you imagine how like good looking that game would be now? With
That would
especially
be so awesome.
if Naughty Dog like did it. Oh my gosh, it'd be so.
But
nice.
they won't. It's going to be somebody else, like
Well, but-
Insomniac. That's why it happened with Crash that way and stuff.
Well, but there's a lot of other studios that are rebooting things. Like this studio I've never heard of called Toys for Bob redid Spyro. And they knocked it out of the park. It looks incredible, feels just like it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And so, I don't know. There's probably someone that's not Naughty Dog that could probably bring it back.
Oh yeah,
Toys
I
for
think-
Bob. You should do it.
Yeah, I think they might actually be doing a Spyro like
A new Spyro game?
a new one. That
Oh.
might just be speculation or wishful thinking, but I think I remember hearing something about that at some point. But
Boy, the
Very
Spyro
cool.
games look good.
yeah.
They really do.
All right, Tyler.
All right. I have a decent list, to be honest with you. I'm trying to decide which one to go with next. Rock Band was on mine. Micah,
Sucker.
props to you.
Oh, sorry.
I will say that Jack and Daxter is hands down the one that I want most. Like, immediately when the concept of this episode went live, it was like, Jack and Daxter. That's all I want. More than anything, just give me more Jack and Daxter. But I'm going to go with Lord of the Rings Return of the King. You remember those Lord of the Ring games? You remember those?
Yeah, that's on my list.
Oh, it's on your list?
Yeah, no way.
Well, that's what
That's
you get for
awesome.
taking Jack and Daxter.
That's funny.
That I don't know what it is, but the only one that I really ever played in that whole series was the Return of the King one. I don't know if the other ones were any good, but I do know that the Lord of the Rings Return of the King game was really good. And you got to play. It was one of those games where, just like in the books or the movies, everybody's out doing their own thing in different places, and you got to play as all of them doing everything.
That's awesome.
It was cool. So you got to play as Gandalf, you got to play as Aragorn, you got to play as
Legolas.
yeah, you did. So it was
Did
a
you
really
get to
cool.
play as Gimli?
No.
No, but you did
Yeah,
get to
yeah, you
play.
Hagrid.
Hagrid. Yeah, this is a
Darth
really
Maul.
good game. Underrated for sure, I think. I just think it would look really good and could potentially be. I think that it could potentially be like the Shadow of Mordor games in caliber. That was what
Yeah.
I mean, because the Shadow
Sure.
of Mordor games were really good, and this Lord of the Rings: Return of the King was really good for a PS2 game. But if you got a full-on remake of it, I think it could be really good.
That style of game. There was the Lord of the Rings games. There was the Chronicle of Narnia games, and the Revenge of the Sith game. That all had the same style of gameplay, and
Those were fun.
those are awesome. Yeah.
They were an interesting mix between like having never had really full freedom. It was pretty linear, but at the same time you had some freedom, like a little bit of
Yeah.
it, just enough to feel like you were really there. Doing all those things, and they would always have their like timed button moments, but they were actually legit. Like you had to like line things up and push the right button at the same
It
time.
was cool.
It was pretty sweet. So There you
That's
go.
a good
Lord of the
one.
Rings: Return of the King.
I only ever played that one time during one weekend when I was in college. So it was like really old at that point, and it was on an Xbox in a cabin that I was in, and that was just like one of the things that came with the cabin that we rented for a weekend was the Xbox with that game. So I played it with Bradley Trull. So shout out to
Nice.
Bradley if he's listening. And then he actually bought it for me. What a man for a computer. So I still have it to this day.
What a guy.
What a guy.
I played the Two Towers version of that on the GameCube.
Was it any good? Because I honestly haven't
was.
played any of the other ones.
It was. I really liked it. I think your description of it was perfect. It's one of those games where like every step is laid out for you, but like you still get to do the things, so you still feel cool doing the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can fail as well, which I think,
I did.
yeah,
A lot, yeah.
Many
important
times.
aspect of any
Almost
game.
exclusively failed.
Trying to keep the orc ladders from getting up, and you have to like run
Oh,
over to the
true.
wall and like push them off. I was terrible at that because you had to like
the Battle of Helm's Deep.
yeah, you had to like button
Wow.
mash like a button as you're like pushing it, and
Oh,
like they're
that's
coming
so
up over.
awesome.
I was terrible at it. I couldn't do it.
Nice. Love it.
That's a good game. I think they only made them for 2 and 3. I think they did. It was a different type of game for the first one that wasn't very popular.
I kind of feel like Fellowship wouldn't go over as well in a
Yeah.
game format.
It's really only like the final fight.
Yeah.
at
You don't want
home
to
and
walk
then-
most of the time.
Everywhere I lay,
Can
there's
you
a dirty
imagine?
great root sticking into my back.
Can you imagine
Slowly
it's
walking
just
through nice scenery.
walking? The whole like first third of the game is just Frodo and Sam, and you're just walking them through like a cornfield, through a regular field, into the forest.
All it is just you playing as Frodo, witnessing all of Sam's goofy quips.
That actually wouldn't be so bad.
That actually sounds kind of nice, especially with
That'd be
VR.
They did it with Death Stranding. That was a game where you literally just deliver
true.
packages.
Yeah.
That's the game. And
but
people
you
loved
also
it.
but you also don't know how to like walk like a normal human being for the first bit because you walk like a doofus and you fall down mountains all the time.
That's true.
That's the
Did
key.
you play that, Daniel?
I played it not like on my own. I played it at somebody else's.
Okay. I haven't played that one.
Death standing. He couldn't figure out how to stand. That was the problem.
Oh my gosh. All right, Daniel, what's your number 2?
Okay, so my number 2 is the Star Fox series. Not. I wouldn't say no to a remake of Star Fox 64. I just think that there's not a lot to it that would warrant a normal remake. That was a game when I was a kid. It was one of my most played games where, if you're unfamiliar with it, you play as Star Fox, who's like a space fighter pilot, and you're trying to travel across your little galaxy system to fight an evil monkey head named Andros. Very exciting stuff. But it didn't take very long. Like, you could do the normal route in like maybe an hour and a half at the most. And I mean, that's when I was in like first and second grade. So like I was not great at games and I could do it, but it was super fun. And what they did in that game is they hid little paths. Like, you could shoot certain things as you're going, because it's a very linear, like, scrolling shooter game. Your plane just moves forward and you have to move forward with it with limited functions. So as you're going through, you can, fly through hoops or whatever and unlock a secret path where then the game's like, oh, you did all the challenges. We're actually going to go this way and we're going to fight this boss at this planet. And then when it zooms back out to the galaxy, you see different planets or whatever that you can go visit. And then you find alternate routes so you can get like alternate endings. So it's kind of fun in that way, where there was a lot of variety for what you could do. But the series as a whole, was it 2005, I believe? Yeah, 2005. They released a Star Fox on the GameCube called Star Fox Assault, and it was more like third-person adventure. You could get in your X-Wing, or what's it called? not X-Wing, R-Wing. X-Wing is from Star
Wrong
Wars.
letter.
Yeah. R-Wing. And you can, fly from planet to planet. But for the most part, you're jumping out of your R-Wing and you're running around and you're shooting people with your blaster and doing all that kind of stuff. And it just seemed like it was this universe that never really got tapped into and never really got explored. And it shows up in a fair amount of Nintendo stuff. Like Star Fox is like he's him and Falco, and even I think Star Wolf in Melee you could play as in Super Smash Bros. And then they have like multiple maps in Super Smash Bros. And yeah, they just show up frequently, but like the world was never really tapped into. So I think it'd be super fun, especially with today's technology, if they brought that whole series back and really explored those characters and the universe that they built in Corneria and stuff like that. I think it'd be super fun. I don't know if you guys ever played it or not, but
I did once at it was like my mom's friend's house. They were hanging out or something, and I was just in the living room with them, I think. And my mom's friend, she was like, "Hey, you can try it." I remember playing it, I guess, but I was just gonna go off on a whole tangent. My whole life story.
My mom's friend had a cat, and
it was cool though. I remember really wanting to play it more, but.
Yeah, well, it's one of those games that has the capability to explore a lot of different like play styles. I don't know. It has obvious like Star Wars kind of vibes where you can get into your R-Wing or get into a land tank and go and like blast people with that, or you're fighting on foot, running around, fighting all these things or whatever. And I don't know. It was a super fun game that I just think wasn't ever really explored. But my caveat to this is, I know it's originally a Nintendo game, obviously, but I kind of feel like it would be better served on a different platform that is going to actually like invest in the potential of like a universe like this, or like a whole story world like this. So I feel like if it was to be brought back, I'd want it be brought back not on Nintendo exclusively. That's my thoughts.
Love it.
Star Fox. All right.
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay. My second game is a game that I only played 2 different demos of. So hear me out. It's called Ape Escape. You guys ever played Ape Escape, or you know what it is? Huh? No? Okay, that's fine. So
I know the song.
Nope.
I had an Ape Escape. I guess it wasn't me who had it. My older brother had an Ape Escape demo on a PlayStation 1. And you're probably thinking, how did he have a demo on a PlayStation 1? Well, he had this. You remember the PlayStation 1 games? You guys didn't really have a PlayStation 1, did you?
I did,
same
but
concept
I was like
as
7, so I don't remember.
Okay, so
I had
PlayStation 1
one.
games were like CD covers, so they were smaller than they are now, like small, just a CD sized. And the ones that had more than one disc in it were like 3 CD cases deep, and it opened on both sides. So you guys know what that looks like, right? So there was like 10 games on each one, and there was a bunch of demos on both sides, which was awesome. Like tons of demos of games that I wished we had all of. One of them was Ape Escape. And I just remember it being like one of the first games I ever played. I think there's newer Ape Escape games out now, but they're not really, no one really cares about them. I don't think they're new now. I think that there was one on PS4 though. And then I remember on PS3, there was another Ape Escape, a weird Ape Escape thing that I think, Tyler, you were with me when we played it at Josh Clark's house. Do you remember that? On,
I just remember
their fat TV.
I just remember the menu song. There was an insane menu song, dude. I don't know if it's for that one or the PS4 one.
No, this is the PS3. Yep.
It was insane, dude. Do you remember how it goes?
I think it was like da 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 da.
Yes.
da.
And we'd go wham. I remember we would say wham
Oh my gosh!
in the opening.
We were
there.
complete idiots. We had so much fun. But anyway, Ape Escape. So anyway, the game is you're this little like crappy kid. Like with like red spiky hair, but he's not like cool looking. He's like short and lame. he's like if Mario had no sense of identity. That like and it was completely different. Anyway, and he's running around with this running around with this net, and the sound effects are really podunk and weird. And he's like, "Hey! Wow!" Like that's what he sounds like. And he's like, the net sound was like whoosh. Like it was like the worst sound effects you've ever seen. And you're trying to these apes have these hats on their heads with sirens. And the sirens go whoop, whoop, whoop if you get nearby. And anyway, you're just going to try to catch the apes, man. And it was like, I played it when I was pretty young, so I was like a little bit scared of it because of how like edgy and weird it was. But you could like swim, and there was this big temple you went inside where you're trying to find more apes. And then once it started to get like really deep and really cool, the demo ended. And so I've never owned an Ape Escape game. The demos were something we either made fun of or I played when I was a kid. And so I would love to play the first Ape Escape game now. I think it would be kind of fun because it's like a kid game. Like, you know, there's other games that were like, oh, you know, Last of Us 2, like this big, crazy, awesome, you know, one-of-a-kind movie that you play, basically. This isn't like that. This is like more close to like Fall Guys, where it's just a goobery little game that you just plug in and play just for funsies. Oh, let's go catch these dumb apes that are like, they were like these little monkey things that would just like ran around and whoop, whoop, whoop. And anyway, Ape Escape, that's my number 2.
Nice.
I don't think you guys think it deserves a comeback. You guys are like,
I don't know.
oh,
Yeah, that
I just
looks
want to
really
hear the
cool.
song again. Wham.
I'm gonna try to find it so I can play it through the thing, but only how long can we play, Keelan? 8 seconds? 4 seconds? 3 seconds?
Uh,
Not long.
we'll figure it out.
Got it.
If we get an email, a cease
the
and
hard
desist, then we'll know. All right, Jordan, what's your next one?
My next one is the Sly Collection from the PS2. I loved those games. They were like comic booky looking and so much fun. I never really enjoyed stealth games when I was younger. I just wanted to run in and hit stuff, but that one, for some reason, just was a lot more fun to me. Probably because you were a raccoon and it was called the Thievius Raccoonus. That's just the best title.
Yeah.
But now that I'm getting older, I've been enjoying stealth games a lot more, and I really want to go back to something that's more focused on stealth, because like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you don't really stealth around as a Viking. Like, you can a little bit, but not really. And Ghost Recon's Wildlands has quite a bit of stealth, but it's still very different from what Sly was, and it's not as kind of fun and silly. It's a lot more serious, and I want a fun, silly game.
Yeah.
I
Those
really
games
liked
were-
Sly.
They were good at being silly too. Like they would have serious things, but they were always really good at being silly as well. Like the good combination.
Yeah.
They would make the serious things goofy.
One of my favorite things about those games were the music, and when you were like running around and hitting people, it would be like, I don't know, how, like loud-ish, I guess, or whatever. But then when you would jump on like, and you would like walk across the telephone poles, or whatever, it'd be like doot, 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 like as your footsteps hit.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And that was really cool. And you had like the hook thing, and you could like sneak up behind a giant rat and like stick it in his butt pocket and take some coins out of there. That was a good time.
What a cool item. The hook. Like,
Yeah,
what a
and-
really such a cool item. Really
Yeah.
unique.
And very versatile because you could use it to like swing on things or everything. Yeah, yep.
It was good. Plus, it makes sense
Good
that a
game.
raccoon would have a hook, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you
Micah,
remember the?
did oh, go ahead. No. I can see that Mike is like sitting on that.
I found
song.
it.
Really quick before we play that, do you remember the like multiplayer part of the? I think it was only the third one, but like
No, I don't remember that.
you would like I don't remember what the point of it was, but one person would play as Sly and the other person would play as the cop girl. I don't remember her name. I don't know if she wasn't I think she was a fox or something. And you had to there was also planes. You could fly planes, and
I'm not recalling this, bro.
it was like in Italy.
I found the
You
cop's
had-
name, but there's no way I'm going to be able to say that correctly.
Give it your best shot.
Carmeliata? Nope. Nope.
Carm.
Carmadilla?
Yes.
Actually?
I think so. Maybe.
Carmadilla.
Carmatilla. There's a T, not a D. Okay. I don't know. Words are hard.
Carmidala.
Carmidilla. Sure.
Whatever, dude.
All right, Micah, do you want to hit us with that snazzy tune?
I'm actually not ready yet because it was only the first like 5 seconds of it because it was like an IGN review. So they only played the first 5 seconds. So now I'm trying to find more of it.
Okay.
So we should keep going with other things.
All right. My next game, I think I'm going to go with Lego Racers. I think that game would be perfect to be now.
Now.
Yes. I think that was a PS2 game. But I mean, it's Lego. Lego is all the jazz, right? It's really not actually.
Lego's always the jazz.
Lego's always the jazz. But there's a bunch of really cool like open world areas that you could go to and you raced in, and that's how it was. It wasn't like Mario Kart. It was kind of what I assume is Diddy Kong Racing, where you're dropped into a giant biome and then you drive around and you find a race, and then you race and you do the thing and then you're done, and then you can drive around and do other stuff, find collectibles and whatnot. And there's probably 5 or 6 huge worlds that you could go to, and there was always like so many areas that we couldn't figure out how to get to, but we could tell you could get there because there was like a gold brick or something. And you could completely customize your car as if you were just doing it at home. It wasn't like, oh, put this like bumper on. It was like, no, put this brick, and you did it brick by brick, and you could make whatever you wanted, and it was super cool. The music was really cool too, and it was a lot of fun. And you would race all these people, and then when you're just driving around in the open world, you could find them like doing their own thing, and you could like run into them and stuff. And there was like a really cool final level, which was like this giant X Games arena thing with like loops and whatnot. I think that would be really cool, and they could modernize it now, because the racing wasn't very exciting. It wasn't arcadey in the sense where it was like drifting around corners. I don't think there was any drifting. I don't know if there was any. Was there boost or anything?
Yeah, there's boost.
There's boost.
There's definitely items. I remember that.
Okay. Well then, yeah, maybe they could make it a little more fast, I guess, with drifting and stuff. I keep thinking about Crash Team Racing. That was a really like fast kart racer, and I think if they added more speed to Lego Racers, because I remember it being kind of slow, like when you're driving, especially like turning around corners and stuff. But I had so much fun with that game. It was awesome. But I think that'd be really cool to bring back.
That was a really fun one. I would love that one too. I remember
Same.
spending a lot of time on that game.
The jungle level, that's the one I remember the most. And like finding ways to jump on top of the trees and explore.
Mars.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Mars.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Whoa.
That's where the X Games thing was Mars.
Oh,
It's
man.
awesome.
And the intro, like cinematic, was so cool.
And that was Lego Racers 2.
Yeah. The
But
sequel.
still. It was good. Yes.
One of the things, so I never played Crash Team Racing, but the 3 kart racing games, Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, and Lego Racers, I can't for the life of me figure out how Mario Kart is the one that's still the most popular. Like, I 100% would take Lego Racers and Diddy Kong Racing, like, over Mario Kart 100 times over. And I know it's probably just because of, like, characters, and they're like, these are the popular characters, or like these are the people that everybody want to race as. But honestly, gameplay wise, like, both of those games blow Mario Kart out of the water, in my opinion. I don't know.
Hot take, y'all. Alert, hot take. Yeah. I still like Mario Kart, but I haven't played Diddy Kong Racing. I've played Lego Racers, and I also haven't done much playing of Crash Team Racing either. Every time I watch Crash Team Racing, though, it's 95 or more % drifting, and the rest of the game you're driving straight across the finish line because it's the only place where you can go straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game's all about when you drift, every like 5 seconds, your wheels will start burning, and if you hit the drift button again, it'll like reset it, but it'll build your boost. And you can do that like 3 times and then boost, and then you can boost right into another drift, and it's great. Once you get the hang of it, I've only done this once when I got really comfortable with one track, but it's crazy how fast you go. And it's just nonstop, which is cool.
It's a skill, which is
So
awesome.
I never enjoyed that game because I could not figure out how to drift for the life of me. Like, when it came out on the PS4, I like tried playing it. I got to like level 5 and was like, I can't. Nope.
Not my jam.
Yeah, I'm not a drifter.
Micah, did you find it?
Not really, but I will play about 6 seconds of it so that you can remember it, Tyler.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Oh, I know it's going to go pew.
No,
At
it
the
goes
very
ba ba da ba da ba 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 ba.
beginning. Sorry.
There you go.
I'm on board with this. Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
dude.
man. Good stuff, man. Those are memories right there.
That's memories. That brings me back
It brings
to
me
your
way
basement.
back. Yes, because
I remember you guys showing me that. Like, not
we
the
never
game.
even played
We
the
didn't.
game.
We didn't actually
Just
go into
that.
the game. It was
never
just
played the
hover
game.
over the icon and listen to the song.
That's the only reason
Yeah.
I kept it downloaded onto the system was so that I could be like, what should we play? And then like switch to it while no one's looking. So it'd be like, ba ba da ba da.
It's all coming back to me now because you did that like 1,000 times.
all the time.
What should we play?
Oh
That's
man.
hilarious.
Do you want to do like a lightning if you have any extras on your list?
Yes. Lightning
spin.
honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go with mine. Okay, I have 2 more. Actually, I have 3 more that I want to mention. So one of them is actually 2 of them are Xbox games. Mech Assault. I don't know if you guys have ever played Mech Assault, but Keelan and I have definitely played it because our cousins had it on their Xbox. We were at our cousin's house, and they were system linking and playing Mech Assault 2, and it was super, super fun. Like, you played as an actual person, and then you'd run and get into a mech, and they just drop you on a map, and there's mechs scattered all over the place, and you would hope to get a good one right off the bat, but then you would go and like kill people with what you had, and then hopefully you could find a better one or a better one, better one, better one. You always had your favorite. You were hoping you could find it somewhere. It all depended on where you spawned on the map. It was cool. It was a really fun game. I only played it like a couple times, but when I did play it, I did not want to stop playing it. I would love to play that game again. I would do a full remake. I think it would actually land pretty well right now if they made a remake of it. So, Mech Assault. And the other one is Kung Fu Chaos. Did any of you play Kung Fu Chaos? It was like a basic fighter type game, and they would drop you into these ridiculous maps, and you'd play as these really goofy looking like characters who all had like special abilities and could go like they had their like special move or whatever. And the map would usually be disintegrating as you're playing, so you had to try not to fall off the map while also destroying everybody else. So kind of like Smash Bros, but think more top down looking, and it was a fun game. Kung Fu Chaos. I played that at a friend's house for a long time. And then my last one, I'll just say the word of a couple others. Bully. You guys remember that game?
Oh yeah.
Oh, please.
And Red Faction.
Ooh,
The first Red Faction. And then this last one I want to actually talk about for a second. You know how every Microsoft computer used to come with that pinball game? Yes. I liked that game. I want that game back. I'm sure there's an emulator out there. I know there is. I'm sure you can go play it. But I want that game back because I used to play that all the time. It was like legitimately there would be times where it's like, hey, can I get on the computer? And that's what I would play because it was so fun. Oh, man. Don't even get me started. I just thought about a bunch of computer games now. RuneScape.
RuneScape's still alive and well.
It's still alive and well in different ways.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Okay,
next.
Great game, MySpace.
No, you cannot. Okay,
Yes,
so
you
I've
can.
tried. People have said, "Oh yeah, you can go find your old MySpace account." I've tried
it's
for
totally different.
Oh, I've tried for hours to try it. Like, you can Google it. It gives you steps how to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I don't remember what my middle school stuff set as a password, which is very possible. But man, do I wish I could see it.
Mm.
Okay, I'm done.
Daniel, do you got any other ones?
I thought of one partway through when Mike was
Burp
talking
into
about
the mic.
nice.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, when Micah was talking about the Ape Escape as a demo, I remembered, gosh, what were they called? Orange Box or whatever, the games that Portal came on, and I was just like,
Yeah.
man, Portal was fun. Like, Portal was a puzzle game that kind of had like this quirky, weird, crazy story, but it was mostly just a puzzle game. But it was a first-person shooter puzzle game where you didn't actually have to fight anything other than like stop the
Robots.
automated robots from shooting you by shooting portals in special
Yep.
spots. I don't know. It was just super fun, and I just miss it. I think it would be a great comeback.
Agreed.
Dude, I have wanted my wife to play that game because it's the perfect game for her.
Yeah.
Seriously.
She would like it.
Yep.
Yep.
But they haven't remade it. In fact, they don't even offer it on any system currently,
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
it's frustrating.
Portal.
Yeah, but that's all I had. I didn't have very many others that I could think of that I was like, man, I would love that now. It's like, no, I kind of just want it to stay
You
where it
can
was.
play Portal on PC, I believe.
They just released, not Valve, but it was like an official, not official. It was a mod that just got released that is pretty popular. It's called Portal Reloaded. And it's Portal, and you have the Portal gun, but it also shoots a third one that's like a time portal.
I saw that.
And so it messes with time. I don't know if you guys have played Titanfall 2. It seems kind of like that, where like you're in a building that's, falling apart, and you shoot a time portal and you go through it, and it's like back in its prime, and doors will work or whatever. And so it adds another layer to it. I don't know how good it is, and it is on PC, but there's also this game. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a mix between Portal and Halo that like it looks like you're playing Halo 3 or Halo 2, just fighting people, except you guys all have guns and portal guns. And so everyone can make their own portals all around the map, and it's insane. It's really dynamic.
That's awesome.
Is it Splinter Cell?
Ghost Recon.
Ripped apart.
Oh my god. Splinter Cell ripped apart. You were sitting on that for so long, the entire podcast, weren't you?
All right, Micah, do you got any more?
I don't have any more games, but I do have an existential question for all of you. It's not really an existential question. However,
I was like, Keelan's going to die again.
I thought you were going to be like, I don't have
He
any
was too.
games, but I really think like the McRib should come back or something. It's like something like
The McRib is back. Have you seen the commercials?
It always comes back.
It's true.
Anyway,
so
Just like the ice cream machine is always broken.
so people who play video games are called gamers, but people who play like the violin are a violinist. So why aren't you called a gamist or a violiner? That's my question. I know the simple answer is because it sounds like you're a freaking idiot. However, I just wondered about that today. Is that weird? This has been my day today. I had the day off, and usually on my day off, my wife is home. She was not home today because she did have to work today. So this is what I did today. Just thought about dumb questions like that. I guess there's worse things I could have been doing.
I think if I'm gonna be honest, I think it's because game it can also be used as a verb, and so like when you're thinking of piano per se, for example, you can be like, oh, I'm a piano player, or oh, I'm a pianist, and you can't like
A gamist.
you can't
A
say
gamerist.
a pianer.
I'm a game player.
It would be a pianoer. I'm a pianoer.
What do you do? I'm a pianer.
Anyway, there's my my existential
The
question.
actual
Jordan?
word is pianist, so it's really not much better.
True. Jordan, any others on your list?
Bring back Farming Simulator. They canceled Farming Simulator 2021, and it kind of made me sad.
Oh.
Dude.
Dang.
Dude, I played 2019 for the first time on my PS4 when it was a free download, and it changed my world. But then I got really, really bad at it. So
Farming Simulator? Hold
Yeah,
on a
when
second.
it was-
Are we talking
it's
about
so
Farming
hard.
Simulator?
it's so
so
hard.
So I got
Try
it
driving
also
controlled with a controller.
So
You just
that's
want to
the
like
thing.
sprint. You can't.
When I started playing it, I was like, oh, I have my steering wheel. I wonder if I could drive the tractors with my steering wheel. So I plugged it in, and it worked. And this was like right when I had to quarantine from work. So I started playing it at like probably 5 a.m, and then all of a sudden I got a trophy, and it was like, you've played 10 hours in a single player world. And I was like, oh no. Like, I looked at the clock and I was like, I spent all day playing Farming Simulator.
Oh no, it's
Like,
3 p.m.
Yeah, I was like,
Driving a tractor.
Honestly,
that's-
that's so accurate.
that's honestly how I learned how to back a trailer up with my truck, because I had to do it so much in that game that when I rented a U-Haul trailer, I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Like,
Well, that's a
did
dang
it in
good
Farming
simulator.
Simulator.
Impressive.
That's a really
It's a lot of
popular
fun.
game. One
Yeah.
of
It's a
my
lot of
friends,
fun.
her little brother, like that's like his main game that he plays, and like he was always so excited when the next one would come out, and he would show me, and I'm like, it looks like last year's, but nice corn.
Nice corn. It's probably one of those things where there's people who love the, like you said, Keelan, the MLB The Show. It's like that's their thing. And Farming Simulator's Jordan's thing.
yeah, I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. That's cool. Nice. Dude.
I want to go become a drummist.
Yeah, it's not drummist,
No, it's drummer.
but it is percussionist.
Percussioner.
All right, that
Kind of wrecks your mind, doesn't it?
Would
I
that
know,
make me a baser?
Okay, there's probably a baser. Yeah, Daniel's a baser. I'm a baser.
Right.
Let me know if you need a bass player.
It's interesting
baser.
because the
There it
ist ending usually has a negative implication. Racist. etc.
Violinist. No, that is a real word.
all those horrible violin players.
Shout out to Tommy if you're listening.
Violiner.
Yeah, Tommy.
Anyway,
Tommy.
is there any more?
I have two more.
Hit 'em.
Infamous, I think
Oh,
needs to come back. It hasn't been gone for that long. The last one was Second Son / Beyond
Well,
Light. No,
Second
that's
Son was 8 years ago.
Splinter Cell.
No. No. Beyond Light is Destiny.
It's Destiny.
what New Light? No, that's a John Mayer song. First Light.
First
That's
Light.
the one.
New Light
New
was
Light's a
also
great
Destiny.
song, by the way.
Did you know the story behind why the music video was like that?
Him dancing?
Yeah, and like the really crappy green screen.
No. What's up?
Apparently, this could be totally fake, but what I heard was that he was gonna do like an actual music video, and then the studio like backed out, or he couldn't do it. So he went to a place where like they film bar mitzvah videos, and just asked if he could use their studio for the music video, and so he
Wow.
used what was available to him. Could be totally
Love it.
fake.
And then put on pajama pants for it.
And a stained sweatshirt.
What I wouldn't give to be John Mayer's keyboarder.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my word.
John Mayist, actually.
Oh, I miss John
That was
Mayist.
good.
Wow. The last game on my list is Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, which is another
Oh yeah.
Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank type of game, except you play as an Australian tiger that throws boomerangs at lizards. So
Love it.
That's
Different
pretty
types
fun.
of boomerangs.
different types of boomerangs, and then you collect their eggs,
The boomerang
Lizard
eggs?
eggs.
the lizard eggs. I assume
Wow.
thousands of them. You just keep in your little bag.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was a boomerangist.
A boomeranger.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sorry. Continue.
All right,
A huntist.
That's it.
Not a hunter, a huntist.
a huntist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way the news goes. Micah, do you want to say thanks to our Patreon supporters? Because I keep forgetting to write them down.
Thank you for supporting us, Jordan, as a Patreon supporter.
Hey.
Thank you for supporting us, everyone else. Just kidding. Josh Ferreira, Justin and Becky Neal, Travis Schultz, and my father. Thank you all for supporting the show. Appreciate it. It's huge, man.
Thank you.
It's huge.
Mhm.
It's huge.
Do any of you guys have any parting words?
No.
Well, then, I will leave you with an an excerpt from my favorite novel. This is the blurb. Comedy superstar Steve Martin and TV film favorite Bonnie Hunt couldn't be more likable. In this hilarious tale of two loving parents trying to manage careers and a household amid the chaos of raising 12 rambunctious kids, with a crowd-pleasing supporting cast including rising young stars Hilary Duff, Tom Welling, and Piper Perabo. This heartwarming hit comedy delivers supersized fun and laughs by the dozen. That's right, none other than Cheaper by the Dozen. Starring Steve Martin, Bonnie Hunt, Lizzie McGuire, Tom Welling, and all the other kids, and a dog.
Tom Welling
And a
played
frog.
Spider-Man in Smallville. I mean,
You know-
Superman.
As you were
That was
reading,
Splinter Cell.
as you were reading
Yeah.
that entire blurb,
Ripped apart.
I thought to myself, "There's no way this isn't Splinter Cell." It rocked my world.
Oh, man. I think we should be done now.
Yeah,
Man, I've
probably.
missed you guys.
Wow.
This was a lot of fun. Okay.
I thought maybe if we was having a roast chicken one night or something.